Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we have a bunch of new products. We're going to be looking at the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills Beauty Balm Serum Boosted Skin Tint, which is time of release of this video, just available, widely released today. So you'll want to check that out. We also have the reformulations, many shades of the new YSL Loveshine Lip Oil, and then a product new to me, well, new to all of us, or fairly new within the past month or so. We have the Christian Dior Forever Natural Bronze Glow. You remember this little guy, so pretty, and a limited edition, released within the past few weeks. So I finally got a chance to show you that in this video as well. If you are in a hurry and you are only interested in one or two of these products, please make use of the very descriptive timestamps that I have below, not only in the description bar, but also across the bottom of the screen. Okay, please use those. I am definitely more chatty now because YouTube likes longer videos, but I know that some of you, all of you, are extremely busy and sometimes you don't have the time. Okay, chatty for the ones who like it, and to the point for those who need that. Okay, so pick which one you are, or as some say, use them both, which I enjoy. A little bit of a programming note. I need your opinion. I think we're friendly enough now. I need your opinion. I have had all sorts of opinions on the previews that I've been doing at the start of my videos. Lately, and today I did not, as you see, but lately I've been doing a little preview where I tell you what's coming up in the video. And I have gotten very positive feedback, but in the past day or so, I've had a few people saying that they just missed straight to the intro. You can't please everybody, of course, and we're all polite. We're all friends here. This is a community, though. It's not about me. It's about you. So yeah, drop me a note and let me know if you like it or not. I know that we'll have a vote and people will be on both sides, but I would love to work with the majority on that. So let me know what you think about the preview that was not in this one, but has been in some of the others, okay? All right, let's talk about the products here, and then we're gonna try them on. We are in the middle of a wear test on the Anastasia Beverly Hills new Beauty Balm Serum Boosted Skin Tint. No good. It's no good. So we're gonna let this kind of ride, and then I will give you my thoughts at the end. I have a few more hours to go in the wear test. Okay, but let's talk about it. Anastasia Beverly Hills is calling this the future of complexion. They want you to apply it with your fingers, and it is a $42 product that comes in 16 shades. Now, another bit of a programming note is my reluctance to have gone forward with this review. It turns out that it's working out okay. I need to thank the lovely makeup craze over on Instagram. She let me know where they were unboxing this and I could actually just go purchase it. And that was very kind of her. But when we were unboxing it, we didn't have the information that we have now. And that is that it comes in 16 shades. We didn't quite know that at the time. So I got one of the shades that was available to me and would work the best, which was shade 2. If I knew then what I know now, I could have gotten my shade, which would probably be 4 or 5. You might not be noticing it now. I am wearing the shade 2, and it's good enough for government work. You know, it's good enough for us to test the formula. And in a way, I keep using this phrase, I'm making a little bit of lemonade out of lemons, because since the shade isn't perfect on me, it's kind of interesting. It's like putting dye into a pool. It's highlighting areas where it could be problematic, which is kind of interesting. So we're going to make use of it, but I am wearing too light of a shade. Forgive me, it wasn't on purpose. Do purchase your correct shade. This is shade 2. It is a little too light for me. This is, Anastasia Beverly Hills says, the first of its kind. A solid serum boosting sheer to light glowing natural coverage with 8 skin loving ingredients. They say it is weightless and it blends easily. We will use it in the demo to build. So we'll use it on top of itself to almost make it a little bit of a concealer. First of its kind. I'm not so sure about that. It's a stick foundation, and I've used a lot of stick foundations. And it's similar to a lot. Has a sort of a feel and a coverage like that new Lisa Eldridge product, which is liquid. But I suppose it being very sheer in a solid stick is a little bit new and different, but it's the future of complexion. I'm not so sure, Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I'm in the middle of a wear test that ain't going great. We're going to talk about it as we go along here. I've got some check-ins coming for you. We'll see. But again, it is $42 and comes in 16 shades. Shade 2 on me, not the right shade. But that's okay, because we're going to talk about the formula. Okay? And thank you so much to Makeup Craze for letting me know where I could get it. You can now get it down below, listed in my description bar, as it is widely available. But rather than wait and get the right shade and trade and all that, I just wanted to get the review up, as I think it's going to be useful for a lot of you with purchases. And of course, the Sephora sale is coming up in North America, and I will have a sale rec video done in my own typical, slightly different way. That's how I like to do that. But that's coming next week. Okay, we're also going to look, as I told you, at the new YSL Loveshine lip oils. They're not new, but they're reformulated. There are 15 shades, and they are $45 each because it's Saint Laurent, so they are not going to give you a deal. I am currently wearing the shade Scenic Brown, which is my favorite. And if I were to swatch it for you, there it is. But I also picked up the shade Rosewood Blush and Electric Love, which I will show you later on in this video. It's nice because it's an oil, and you can just kind of add it on. There's a tad bit of a sweet scent, almost a tutti fruity scent, but nothing cloying or annoying. You know I love these brown lip oil glosses. Now, this is not the Candy Glaze. This is the Loveshine Lip Oil. So YSL says it's kind of like the look of a lipstick but the feel of an oil. But they have 6 oils now. And I think compared to the original, it feels a little bit more slippery and maybe not in a good way. So I'd love you to weigh in if you are a fan of the original. I think I like the original better. But there's nothing wrong with this. And I did notice they give it a 24-month shelf life. So it's not one of those like ridiculous Dior reformulations where it's supposed to last like a week and a half. I'm exaggerating for a fact, but you know what I mean. This does give it a 24-month, so they kind of reformulated it. They made it a little bit oilier. It's not getting all over my face. The darker you go, it's going into lip lines a bit. But, you know, it's pretty. I don't know that it needed to be reformulated, but they thought it did. And the other product we're going to look at, slightly new to the market, but also limited edition, is the Dior Forever Natural Bronze Glow. This is $55. It is a bronzer, but as you see, it has elements of blush and elements of, so you can sculpt with it, blush with it, highlight with it. But I mean, primarily it is a bronzer that comes in 4 shades, $55. And I got the shade Pink Bronze. We're going to use it today as both a bronzer, highlighter, blush, which you can kind of get away with, especially in the shade I got it in, and because my Anastasia Beverly Hills product is a shade or 2 or 3 too light. So you might even be seeing that difference on my face now. Don't adjust your screen. I admit it is not the right shade of foundation. We still have a lot to talk about with the foundation, though, let me tell you. But this is a beautiful product. It does have a little bit of a scent. It's Dior. We're used to that with Dior. And I will talk later in this video, I'm going to talk about it compared to some other bronzers because I have some definite opinions on this product. But it's certainly very pretty in the case with the fabric overlay on top. It's actually quite lovely. Okay, so we are 3 hours into our wear test, but we're going to do some check-ins. And then at the end of the day today, I will do a final check-in. I have so many thoughts on the Anastasia Beverly Hills product that I need you to watch this before you buy it. You need to promise me you will do that, please. All right, let's apply the darn thing, keeping in mind that the shade's a little too light. Okay, we got that out of the way. And if you hear any noise outside, please know that I am living through demonic loads of construction on the street outside my house for 5 or 6 months now, with no signs to an end. Maybe an end of me, you know, I might lose it, but other than that, no sign of an end. But do take a moment as we go into the demo here to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, as it really, really helps me. And check below for ways to purchase these products, give super thanks, and join our members only group. All sorts of fun stuff. Let's go right now to the demo. All right, let's start with our skin tint from Anastasia. And as I told you, you won't unfortunately be able to get a shade reference from me, as this will be too light. But it's also kind of proof that even though I think this is probably 3 shades too light, or 2 shades, it's actually gonna work, which is kind of interesting. Now, there's a few ways to put this on. One is with our hands and the other is, well, with a brush. But guess what Anastasia says? Use your hands. So it is true that on YouTube, people don't like hands on faces, but I promise you I won't target my skin. We'll make a pact, and I promise you I will wash my hands. All right, we'll do one side of the face and then the other. Again, remembering that this shade is going to be too light, okay? But let's work with it here. And we see the redness we're covering. Look at this redness here. And I still have a serious imperfection from some product try-on Supergoop quite a few days ago at this point, but it's still there. And you see what we are working with here. I'm not going to put on any concealer. There's no primer on, just morning skincare. I'm not going to use any sort of a setting spray or a powder. We just want to see how this works all day on its own. All right, so here we go. I'm going to actually just, you can apply it to the skin. Remember, it's going to be too light, but I'm going to still make it work. Okay, so it has, I'm just putting it on one side of the face, and yes, I am using my hands, and yes, that is the suggestion. So we're going to have a little bit of a natural glow here. You're probably at home going, oh, it's not that bad, Rebecca, of a match. It isn't, actually. But I could have gone a few shades deeper. Okay. It's not bad, though. It's really not bad. So this lets you know how stretchy these shades are. All right. Now, let me just show you this. Keeping in mind that this is too light of a shade, you might not even notice it. But, you know, if you're astute, you're probably noticing that's a little light. For me, we're going to bronze it up with our Dior. This side of the face now has the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Beauty Balm Serum Boosted Skin Tint. I had to look down to get that right. And this side just has morning skincare that has already soaked in. And you can see we have very natural, very light coverage. We're seeing a lot of very light coverage products as we go into spring now. Has it covered up my ruddiness? Yes, it has evened out the skin tone. It would be even better if it were a little bit of a better shade match, but that's okay. Has it evened out my complexion? It definitely looks like it. For everyday wear, I would most certainly add in a concealer. And if you are completely averse to using your hands like I just did, go ahead and use a sponge, I suppose. I think a sponge would be my first choice. Do you? Or a brush. But really, Anastasia Beverly Hills does recommend hands. So there we go. One side done, one side not. I will speed it up and do the other side, which will give us a little better perspective because it will even out that shade difference we're seeing right now. Okay, stay right there. All right, in a strange way, and perhaps I'm making a little bit of lemonade out of lemons, I'm kind of glad that I'm 2 or 3 shades too light, because it really does show you how stretchy these shades are. And I know I said that a little earlier, but I just wanted to re-emphasize it. Now, if I were just kind of going about my day, this would be fine. I probably need a little bit more concealer. What does this feel like, though? I'm going to leave the concealer out. What does it feel like? It's got a nice balm texture. Right now, it kind of feels like it could use a little bit of powder, but I am not really a powder person, usually under the eyes with my concealer. But if you are somebody who has a slightly oilier complexion and you would like to add powder to it, I don't think you would regret that. In other words, it probably needs a little bit of powdering if you have an oily T-zone or such, which I do not have. It's a little bit akin, to be totally honest with you. It feels on the face a little bit like the Lisa Eldridge skin tint that just came out, a little less moisturizing. I felt like the Lisa Eldridge almost felt like this is a really strange analogy, but you know when you put your clothes in the dryer with too many dryer pads? And it has almost a filmy feel on it. That's how the Lisa Eldridge felt to me, the same as her face wash did, to be honest. This is a little bit less than that, but it is fairly moisturizing. Now, I did have somebody ask me if it could also kind of be used a little bit like a concealer. Sure. Just like the Lisa Eldridge product, you can definitely build this up in parts. So I'm putting a little bit of it on a brush, and I'm just going to go around my eyes. I know I said I wasn't going to use concealer, but this is really not. I'm just using the product. And let's see, again, shade choice a little off. I know I keep repeating that, but I don't know who is skimming around in the video with the timestamps. And I do think I'm getting some significantly more coverage. Again, you know, we talked about this with the Lisa Eldridge review. And I'll put my Lisa Eldridge review actually right up here for you to take a look at if you missed it. This is slightly similar. I have that blemish that I complained about from the Supergoop product, so we're going to go a little heavier there. And then around here, I'm feeling a little ghostly, but I actually, you know, if I wear this out today and bronze it up, I don't think anyone's going to go, hey, that woman is wearing a foundation where the shade is off. So this should give you some encouragement for when you choose your shade. Plus, I want to look at how it wears and how it feels, etc., etc. Okay, so what I have done, as you saw, and that was for Michelle, who had asked me about that, can you then apply additional as a concealer? And as you see, I most certainly did, and it's looking a little sprucier, a little spiffier. So I think that actually looks pretty good. Okay, what I want to do is I'm going to go off camera and just do my brows a little bit. I want to talk about these YSL shades that I picked up just so you can see some of them. But we are going to kind of start a wear test going on this right now. So each time I check in to try different products, we'll let a little bit of time go by, and then we'll just kind of see how this wears. No setting spray, no powder, and no additional concealer from another brand or even from Anastasia, to be honest. All right, stay right here. We have a lot to talk about. First of all, I want to show you one of the shades of the newly reformulated YSL Loveshine Lip Oil. This is Rosewood Blush that I'm wearing right now. Let me just show you it here. And it is, to me, very similar to the original. It's a little bit, am I crazy? It feels a little bit more slippy. I guess it would, because they're saying that now it has even more oils in it. It has like 6 oils. So I'm probably not crazy in assuming that. Okay. So that's one shade. I'll try on the other 2 as we go. Let's talk a little bit about this Anastasia Beverly Hills product now that I have worn it for an hour. So we're in the middle of a wear test, and this is, I think, an important update. The future of complexion, I'm not entirely sure. Let me talk about it. It's been 1 hour. A few things to say. I did notice it gathering a little bit where I had kind of used it as a concealer. And I also noticed something slightly troublesome. And I am very sorry to say this. It is gathering here. Oh, will I be able to? Okay. I don't know if you can see that. And I'll try to insert an image of it if you can't. If on editing I can't get close enough. It's gathering and settling on what I guess must be dry spots on my face that I didn't really realize were dry. I have very normal skin. If you're new to my channel, very normal skin. It's gathering here. And in a weird way, and it's gathering kind of around my nose. In a strange way, I'm noticing it more because it's the wrong shade. Kind of like when you add dye to an experiment to highlight something. So this is, again, I'm perhaps making a little bit of lemonade out of the lemons, but interesting, right? Yeah, so I'm seeing it gather here and here. Like I'm seeing it gather around the mouth and on the sides here. Like wherever it's a little bit drier on my skin, and I didn't even realize it was, I am seeing it settle and gather, which is interesting. So what I'm going to do, it's an hour in, I'm going to do what I would do with any other product. I am going to smooth it, and let's see what it does, okay? I'm doing it with you, so it's part of the experiment. I'm just kind of smoothing that, and let's see how it goes. In terms of this blemish that's left over from the Supergoop trial, could I mention it? It's like at this point I mentioned it like 20 times. I'm so angry about it. That would need some serious concealer, which we're not wearing. Would powder stop it from kind of accumulating around the nose and stuff? Maybe, but I don't think so. Yeah, I know. Okay, let's go ahead while we're letting this test run. Let's go ahead and look at the Dior Forever Natural Bronze Glow. How many of you got this? It's new-ish. It's just not entirely new. And I think today we're going to use it on eyes and cheeks, and we're going to use it as both a bronzer kind of too, and a little bit of a blush as well. And as you know, I got the pink bronze shade. I have a Sonia G brush here, and I'm just going to go in. It would be real, I mean, you could isolate the shades, but I don't know. Let's just go ahead and kind of use it on cheeks, and let's use it just around to kind of, you know, bronze. It is a bronzer. but it's got these kind of pinks in it, and I got this pinkish bronze shade. So I thought we would just kind of use it together to just warm up around the hairline. I'm not doing any serious bronzing. Definitely slight perfume scent. Again, it's a Dior product. Oh, I got a little brush hair there on my lip. Okay. That definitely warmed it up. Now, why am I using it all over my cheeks when it is essentially a bronzer? Well, because, hello, I have way too light of a foundation. So that did help. And it will also serve, in a way, it's cheating because it's also slightly powdering the product. But I didn't powder around here, really, or here where it was gathering. So I don't think it'll interfere with the experiment and perhaps make it a little bit more realistic. Certainly help me doctor out my shade choice there. In a way, it's kind of working for me in the fact that it's very bright. And then it works with the bronzer. Let's try a little bit. I closed it up, but let's try a little bit in the eyes. I do have some mascara on, but let's see what happens if we take a Sonia G brush and just go into these shades here. I did put some on the eye and it is creasing, but it does not promise to be an eye primer. That is the ABH product, I mean. So the fact that it's creasing on the eyes, I don't know if I could pin that on them. And if you are going to use it on your eyes, you could probably also a little bit more easily go into this little rosy shade here and kind of add that to it, the little blush shade in it. But I think for the most part, if you're using this, you would use it all blended in one thing. What do I like better, this or the YSL? I just reviewed that YSL bronzer a week or so ago. I prefer the YSL. But this is kind of pretty as an overall. You know, you wouldn't use the new Saint Laurent bronzer on your cheeks at all. Whereas I actually, probably because of shade choice, was able to get away with this as a little bit of a blush. So I guess it really kind of depends what you're looking for in your bronzing. And this is a little bit highlighty too. Whereas the YSL is kind of straight for bronzing. So I can see that as well. Okay, so I think it's a pretty put together look. I want to come back in a few hours and take a look and see what's doing here. And also then I'll change and show you another lip color as well. So stay right there. Okay, it's been 6 hours and I think we can safely end the wear test now. And I'll tell you why. Well, first of all, let me just really quickly tell you that this is the second that I'm trying on today. You'll see another one actually earlier in the video. This is our Electric Love shade. It's kind of really pretty. Let me swatch it for you of the YSL. I'm just kind of doing the little YSL try-ons as we go here. And it's a very pretty shade that's really actually nice. It doesn't settle into lip lines. Really goes on like an oil, but I mean, it's very, very oily. I think more so than the original formula. I've been wearing it around. It's not sliding all over my face though, so that's really, really good. But I think I preferred the original formula. Oh, it's splitting hairs. But I mean, I still love this, but okay, I don't know. You know, for $45, maybe during the Sephora sale, you can try one. As I get darker here on the YSL, it's kind of settling into lip lines a little bit more, but nothing crazy. Let's get back to the foundation. Actually, let's discuss the Christian Dior product first. The Dior is really pretty. You know, I'm looking a little patchwork quilt since the Anastasia product is too light, as we discussed. You know, you're kind of seeing where I put it's emphasized where I bronzed because it's not blending as nicely with the foundation shade, but it's a beautiful product. Like I said during the demo, it really kind of depends what you're looking for from your bronzer. This one you can also use it's a little highlighty. It could also be a little bit of a blush depending on the shades you choose. If you're using it straight up for bronzing and you're deciding between this and the Saint Laurent, I like the YSL better. But I think this is a very pretty product. I don't regret having it. The mix, though, of the kind of highlighty shade and the sort of pink blush shade is a little bit more gimmick than useful. You're not going to be able to poke in there that well. I mean, maybe you are, but mere mortals like me are not. And it's mostly going to be used for bronzing, but, you know, cheeks in a pinch. A little bit gimmicky, but very pretty and a little bit scented. All right, let's devote the rest of our time together to this Anastasia Beverly Hills. The reason I just called it on the wear test, it's not that it's uncomfortable. It's very comfortable. The areas I powdered feel a little bit nicer. Okay, so it probably could use a little bit of powder. Let's insert some video footage that I just took off my iPhone. Okay, just now. Take a look at this and see if you can see the areas I'm pointing at. It is just wanting to gather, 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 and in a strange way, it's kind of nice that the shade's a little off because you can really see it. No matter what I do, it is gathering in dry spots and dry areas. Now, you might say to me, especially if you're new to my channel, you might say, Rebecca, you need to make sure you've exfoliated and you need to moisturize. I know. I don't have dry skin. I don't have this problem. If you suffer from very dry skin, then this would be your routine. It's not mine. My foundations do not do this. Please know that I am aware that we want to exfoliate, that we want to moisturize. I do use a moisturizer. I do exfoliate, but I do not have, I'm sorry, I'm screaming at you. I don't mean to be. I do not have dry skin. And I do not have foundations that do this. And this one really, really is. It is just settling and sitting on top of the skin. And I didn't realize I was dry around my mouth, but I guess I am. I fixed it up a little bit here and it hasn't come back, but I cannot stop it from clinging in patches around the mouth, around the nose. So if you have dry spots, I think it's gonna cling. And no amount of powder in the world is gonna help you with that. Future of complexion, I don't know. It's very comfy. I think some people are gonna love it. And here's my issue, you guys. You're gonna say, oh, Rebecca, then would you recommend this for people with an oilier complexion? Yes and no. It's very moisturizing. So you might tend to see too much texture if you have an oily T-zone then. You know, and pores, I'm definitely seeing my pores here more. So it's kind of making me, I'm thinking out loud with you guys. I got it. It's making me a little oilier in places that maybe could go oily. Very, very normal skin. And it's making me drier in places that maybe could be dry. So it's kind of the worst of both worlds. Oh my goodness, you guys. I don't hate this product. I don't love it. Totally settling here where I guess I'm a little dry. And totally showing my pores more where most of us can go a little bit more oily. Let me repeat this for the umpteenth time. I have very normal skin. So we're going to start seeing more and more reviews of the product, and I bet some people will love it. I am not loving it. I am not loving it. I mean, to me, this is just not working. I could keep fixing it up. I certainly bronzed it up, and I fixed the shade. It's a little off, but you know. But why? When I have a million other products, and unfortunately, in my case, I do mean a million, that are not going to do this. Sorry. I know a lot of you are really looking forward to it. All right, so let me know your thoughts. Don't lambast me about the shade choice mistake, I know. But anyway, get the right shade, I guess, if you're going to try it. And the YSL lipsticks, like I said, a little slippier, darker the shade, will show lip lines a little bit, but a very pretty product. And you know what I think about the Dior as well. But my concern is with the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Skin Tint, and I want to know what you guys think. I mean, this is what makes us a community. Give me some feedback, please. Don't forget to subscribe and share and all of that good stuff. And thank you so much to Makeup Craze. Don't forget to check out her channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.